Hello, everyone. So I said that I would put together a video on how to teach class, how I teach class in the box. So here I am, getting around to it. First, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what comes in class of the box. You get 10 of these really cool flyers. I don't know if you've seen the new one or not, but inside it has a product. One, it has the class, then it has an order sheet, then it has the kits, and then it has the Wellness Advocate Agreement. So comes with 10 of those. You can also, after you buy your initial starter kit, class in the box, you can just reorder those. You can get 10 for $2.50. So that's a really good deal. And then it comes with 10 wild oranges, it comes with the DVD, and it comes with the living magazines. So I really love the class in the box because doTERRA has really streamlined it and made it easy. We don't have to hunt all over the place or for what websites we're going to use this tear pad and that tear pad. And anyway, so I love it, and I'm really excited to be able to push this out with our whole team and all of our classes. Not very long ago, I did 10 classes in 3 days, and it was amazing. Love the class in the box. So I learned a lot while I was doing that, and so I thought I'd make this video and share with you some of the tips I've made, and then also so that way as you're doing class in the box, you can have some ideas. Okay, so first, when I get started, I have the host tell everyone why they're there. Like, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you came. The reason I really wanted you here is because whatever it is, what if the oil's done for them? Why do they feel it's important to share? Why do they think that people would appreciate it? On and on and on. And then I would like whoever is hosting the class then to introduce the teacher of the class. And sometimes you are the host and the teacher, so you won't have to edify yourself. But anyway, then you would have the host say, here's Joanne, and she's teaching this class. She's came all the way from Michigan, and she's been using oils, blah, 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 blah. And then I would say, and the one thing is, as a teacher, you really need to make sure to reverse edify the host. Oh my gosh, you guys, your host is so amazing to have you here, and she has so much knowledge. You guys are so lucky to have her, and she'll be a great resource to you. Whatever. That's a really easy part to do. The easiest part usually is to come up with nice things to say about your host. So once you do that, then one of the things I learned this from Sarah when I was out there, and she does an on-time raffle. And it was brilliant. So she advertises everybody like there will be an on-time raffle. If the class is at 6, the raffle's at 6:05. People who are in their seats will be entered to it. And so, she had different little gifts, and that can be whatever you use, whatever you want. But I want to tell you about what I found recently. So, you know how we have all these empty bottles, right, coming out of our ears, and you can't throw them away because they're such cool little bottles, and you feel wasteful. But what do you do with them? For me, it's like, do I really want to make Christmas lights out of these? That's way too much work. I'm never going to do it. So what I found was on Aroma Tools, they have a pack of 6 sprayers that just screw in really nicely into the top of your old leftover bottles. And there's always a little drop or two in there that you can't get rid of, that you can't get out with the orifice. So you just take that off, and voila, you add some filtered water, and you have a spray. So this is lavender spray. You can give this away at your class, and it's basically cost you the price of a lid, which I think come out to less than $0.25, or right around $0.25 each. And so even if you don't quite have enough, you could add a few more drops of lavender oil to this, which is just water. And I put 5 drops of lavender oil in there. It's so awesome. So you've got a pillow spray, you've got an itch spray, a burn spray. You can do it with On Guard, and you can carry it in your purse and have like a little hand sanitizer. They can use it for a throat spray. I mean, all of these, lemon. What else do I have here? Peppermint. I mean, tons. Breathe. So great tip. I love it, and I'm so excited to be able to give these away. So on-time raffle. So we do an on-time raffle, and that way everybody's in their seats. They filled out a little drawing slip that says what they're interested in. We do the on-time raffle, give away a spray or whatever. Now, one of the things I've also been doing is whatever you're giving away, you want to highlight. So if, say like this month, people are getting the free On Guard Plus, well then I'd really want to give away an On Guard spray and say, this is what On Guard's for. So then I'd look up in your book. This is the Oil Life has this now. It's the Essential Life. And I really like these actually. And so anyway, what I would do is I would look that up and then I would read to the class, like just read it out of the book, you know, what it's used for. So they're thinking, oh, that's a good oil. That's interesting. And then it's going to turn out to be the free oil. So that's really exciting too. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the class. So I'm just going to move me out over here so you can see. Okay, so the class. Once we hand out, then I hand out all the sheets, the little packets, and everybody has a pen. And I say, okay, in these packets, we're just going to go over what's right here. And then on the inside, you're going to see an order form. This is your wish list. Anything that we talk about, I want you to circle, highlight, star, if it's something that you think you want. You don't have to buy everything you mark. It's your wish list. It's so you don't forget what you want. And then we can go through and help you figure that out at the end of the class, which I love because people will start making lots of notes, everything we talk about. Mostly, they take notes on what the host talks about. Whoever their friend is that invited them, whatever that person says, they're going to be writing down. So it's important that your host comes packed with some good experiences to share. Okay, so we're also really going to work hard on staying compliant and using language that's very relatable to everyone. So first, then I'll say, okay, how many people here have used essential oils? Raise a hands. Oh, that's great. Well, most of us are pretty familiar with herbs and how beneficial they are to our health. Well, if you think of essential oils as about 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, you kind of get an idea of what essential oils are. But I have this great video that explains it so much better than me, so I'm going to play this for you. And I want you to pay attention and see if there's anything there that you learn that you didn't know before. Then I go ahead and I play what is a doTERRA essential oil. And it goes through and plays that video. And then at the end, I'll say, okay, did anybody learn anything? Was there anything you liked about that video? And then we'll go around, you know, I'll call on the host. And then I say, one of my favorite things is, I love how it talks about the plant, how it protects. I'm not going to play the video right now because you don't need to see it. We're just trying to whip through here so you kind of have an idea of how to teach the class. But anyway, on there it talks about how the essential oil protects the plants against disease, foreign invaders, and attracts healthy herbivores. So I talk about that, how awesome it is that the plant puts this out to protect itself. And I love that. So I talk about that a little bit. Then we move on. We're moving right along. So why doTERRA essential oils? So there's essential oils all over the place. They're in our gum. They're in our soaps and shampoos. They're in our mouthwash. But what makes doTERRA essential oils different? Well, there's a couple of things. One of them is doTERRA sources their oils from all around the world, wherever they find the best quality oil, which is usually in that plant's native environment. So it really makes a difference that the climate, the time of day that they're harvested. Now at this point, if you want and you don't feel like you can speak about this, you go ahead and play the video, Why doTERRA Essential Oils. We talk about how they're free from fillers, contaminants. We do third-party testing, and we do it in all parts of the process at the field where where it's distilled at the farm, and then we do it once it gets in there to Utah before it's shipped, and then once it's packaged, we do testing again. So really important to go over testing and how they're such a high quality that we can actually use some of these oils internally. So then I'm going to go through and say, okay, everybody look at the second column under number 2, and we're just going to read through there what essential oils do for us. So then I just have 4 people read. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really simple, kind of boring, but everybody's involved. It makes the class look easy. And number 4 is 1 drop is all that is needed to achieve a powerful benefit. Okay, then I pull out my peppermint. I say, did you know that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea? So just so you can get an idea how powerful doTERRA essential oils are, I'm going to pass this peppermint around. And what I want you to do is I want you to put a drop in your hand. Let me pass it around. Rub your hands together like this. Now I want you to take your finger, press it right in the palm of your hand, and then take that and press it to the roof of your mouth. They can just get a little taste. It's not too overpowering. Oh, well. Now I want you to cup it over your mouth and nose and breathe. And that's my favorite part, to watch the reaction. Now, this is what I learned from Sarah again. You have a little bit of residue left on your hand. See how it's kind of shiny? Now take that and rub it on the back of your neck, and you'll feel it kind of cool later. So we can use peppermint to help ease discomfort stomach, ease stomach pain. We can use it to freshen our breath. We can use it to relieve achy muscles, and it's also really good for cooling. So everybody goes around the room, they have their peppermint. Then I love to follow it with wild orange. I do the same thing. We don't taste it. I just have them put a drop in there and cover it and smell those two together because they're heavenly. And that's usually what I use in a diffuser in a class. I just love those two oils together. Okay, then I tell them about co-impact sourcing. If you don't know what co-impact sourcing is, you need to get your bottom online and read about the Healing Hands Foundation and find out about co-impact sourcing and some of the work that's being done that doTERRA does. It tugs at my heartstrings, and I love to share this with people. And it's so important that you don't skip this step. What doTERRA is doing through their co-impact sourcing and their Healing Hands Foundation is incredible. So I go ahead and I tell them a Healing Hands story, the co-impact story of Haiti. I tell them about Haiti, and that's where vetiver comes from and what happened. If for those of you who don't know this story, you'll probably be able to tell it better than I. So they received a batch of vetiver from Haiti, and it wasn't quite to their standards, and they were kind of like, what's going on? So they go out there to the farm to see, like, maybe we need to give them some education. Well, what happened is they had pulled the plants out of the ground early to harvest because they needed the money. And they're like, what's going on? And then people are like, our families are starving. We need this money. We have to pull this product out. And doTERRA said, no, we do not want this. We can't be, we've got to change this. And so what they did is they set up an even pay program so that they would get paid 12 months evenly throughout the year. So they never went through that feast and famine. They could leave the plants in the ground, and the farmers were able to provide for their families. So this is just one of many stories of how co-impact sourcing helps. You can talk about the tribes in Somalia and how, in a way, it's bringing peace between the tribes because they had them all in that room together and worked out a deal, and they said, we'll buy all of your frankincense, And so there's so many stories out there, and this is very important. You can't forget this step. So you talk about co-impact sourcing, and you just find something that touches your heartstrings, and it'll be great. Okay, then we move on to, okay, now this is the fun part. So we're going to talk about some of the essential oils specifically, and I'm going to pass them around, and you can smell them and put them on, whatever you want to do. So you figure out with your host what ones you want to feature, which ones they have stories about or experiences with. And the ones that I really like, I love On Guard. I love the On Guard video. I really like the frankincense video because it's so interesting, and everybody has that connection. Like, I've heard of frankincense, it's in the Bible. Like, why is that important? And then I get to say, there's a reason why the wise men gave it to baby Jesus. Frankincense is amazing. And then I also like to do Deep Blue. Anyway, so Deep Blue is great, and then they can put it on their aches and pains. So those are 3 really good videos. I don't suggest that you do more than 3 videos. If there's other of the product videos, other than that, it's just too much, 2, maybe 3. So when we talk about the use of oils, we cover aromatic, topical, and internal. I'm not going to go into detail here because hopefully you know that already. And if you don't, you need to talk to your upline or watch some videos online because, but basically how we used our peppermint, we used it internally, we used it aromatically, and we used it topically on the back of our neck. And actually right now I can feel the peppermint starting to work, and it feels really nice after a long day. So the other thing we need to cover right here is how do I use essential oils is usage. And that means how much oil do I use at a time? Because that's the question. And so we want to refer to the chart that Dr. Hill gave us. And it's basically like 1 drop in 24 hours, no more than 24 drops. So a drop every hour, 2 drops every couple of hours, and we go over the less is more. And we also do, this is really cool. See, I got so much great stuff from Sarah when I went out there. Sarah Bollinger, she's awesome. Okay, so little rainbow between my 2 hands, and on one side you have not enough oil to really do anything. And then you have too much oil where you're not getting the desired effect. And then right up here in the middle of that rainbow is our sweet spot. That's where the oil is most effective for us. So I do this little rainbow and I say, okay, so they found that with 1 to 2 drops, you hit the sweet spot, right? And then here you're going over. And so what happens is if you use oils too far apart in the day, like maybe you're going to use 2 drops, 3 drops in the morning, and then not put oils on again at night, and you're dealing with some congestion, or you're only hitting that sweet spot for a little bit of time. And so what the idea is to take a little bit of oil, let it work through your system, have a little bit more, let it work through your system a little bit more, so you're staying in that sweet spot where your body can really take advantage of the oils. Other thing I like to point out to people is when we're sick, when our body is not 100%, we need even less oil. When we're sick, our body can handle more, but when we're not sick, when we're healthy, sometimes people say, oh, I use 10 drops, I use, all this oil. But when you're sick, and this is where we have to be careful, because when someone's not feeling well, we think, oh, we want to give them some oils that will help ease their discomfort or help support them, and we'll do too much. And so we'll over oil them. And so it's important to remember less is more, and that's really important in your classes. Okay, now number 4. So you have to talk about the supplements. I love the supplements. They are keystone to our business, but not only that, they're amazing. If you talk about the vitamins and minerals and polyphenols and how important it is, what we always talk about, though, is a foundation for optimal health. How do you establish a foundation? And that is, if you've seen the doTERRA Wellness Pyramid, it's nutrition is that base, is nutrition. So we need to make sure we're putting good things in our bodies. So 6 servings of organic vegetables a day, a source of good omegas daily, like fish 4 times a week, but then you've got to worry about mercury, and then do you even like fish, and how do you cook it? And the only way I like it is deep fried in canola oil, and that's not the right kind of oil. So that's where we have the doTERRA Z Omega, which is your land and plant-based omegas. And if you don't know about the supplements, you need to go and do some research, because there's so many good things on there. And don't forget to mention the money back guarantee. And then what's really great is doTERRA also has some options that you can do with this, like add in the Mito 2 Max, or if you want some extra deep blue or whatever. The TerraZyme, I take TerraZyme every day. I love it. So good for your digestive system. Anyway, so you talk about the supplements and how great they are, and maybe some stories that you've had, or ask someone at your class to share an experience. And then I briefly do number 5. I say, if you're sitting here thinking about some of the things you'd like to know about, please write them down here. Or if it's for someone else, please write them down here. And so then when I meet with you individually, we can kind of go over that and find out what would best support your health. Okay, now I'm going to show you another video on how to purchase products. So then I go ahead and I show what is the doTERRA LRP program. And it goes through and it's like, tells them about points and, product of the month and all this stuff. And it kind of is a little overwhelming. And then I say, okay, so then when it's done, I say, okay, you guys got that? You ready for your quiz? Or whatever, whatever you're comfortable with saying. Then I say, okay, let me make it really simple for you. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and the people, and you just answer them, what you think the answer is. Okay, is the loyalty reward program, which is the program you order every month, is it optional? The answer is yes, it's optional. Okay, can you order just one thing on the LRP program? Yes. The answer is yes. You want to ask a series of yes questions here. Can you change the time of the month that it's shipped to you? Like if you're out of town and you don't want it to show up while you're gone? Yes, you can. Do you get free stuff when you buy on the Loyalty Rewards program? Yes, you get free stuff. Yes. Okay, and the last one is, is ordering products on the Loyalty Rewards the smartest way to buy? Yes, it is the smartest way to buy. So then I say, okay, how many people here, hopefully you have a few wellness advocates already there, and I say, how many people here on the Loyalty Rewards program or are wellness advocates already? Raise your hand. Okay, how many people order through the Loyalty Rewards program? Raise your hand. And then I say, okay, see these people with their hands up? They know how to get the oils for the best price. So you can talk to one of them, you can talk to me, you can talk to the host, and we'll be able to help you figure out what you need and how to get it the smartest. Now, what I want to go over with you really quick is we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to talk about the different kits with enrollment. So you can, doTERRA's put together some really easy kits. You can pay $35 or you can come in with a kit. Actually, I don't even bring up the $35. I don't know why I said that just now. But anyway, so the kits that doTERRA's put together are really great. So there's the Every Oil Kit, and it comes with this really great diffuser, coconut oil, the new Emotions Kit. Oh man, the Emotions Kit. So, I put the percentages backwards on here. So when you come in with the Every Oil Kit, or you start back with the 20%, see this 20% right here? You start back with 20%. So I say, okay, get out your pen. I want you to write this down. I want you to write 20%. So they write down 20%. And then you also get 200 products. So that just means when you're doing the Loyalty Rewards program, you get 20% back on all your future purchases. Okay, Diamond Kit. It's got everything. If you're like totally ready to revamp your lifestyle, and you want the shampoo, you want the soap, you want everything, this is the cheapest way to do it. So go ahead and put 25% there because you also start at 25% back. Now listen to me. It is very important that you talk about each of these kits. You don't have to talk about them for very long, but you're having them write down the percentages. They see it. They know it's an option. You don't get to make choices for what people spend. They will make their own choices, but you need to present it as an option. Then I go on to say, okay, and then the Natural Solutions Kit down here is 15% back. Or not 15% back, but you start at 15%, and it's a really good one. I really like to highlight this one because you get a diffuser, you get the soap, you get the toothpaste, the Deep Blue, a bunch of oils, and you get this really cute little box. So this is a really nice kit to start with, and this diffuser is great. So what's really great about this is also when you set up the Loyalty Reward program that we talked about, you get another $100 in free stuff. Okay, now you can see all the other kits. Those are going to be at 10%. So go ahead and write down 10%. You want them to write stuff down so they're paying attention. Okay, I'm going to tell you one more thing, and then then you can have at it, and then you'll be ready to, I'll come around. So I'm going to tell you one more thing. Okay, oops. So then I say, okay, go back to, hold on here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now I want you to flip back to the page that has the shopping cart on it. It says number 6, how do I purchase oils? And then there's the little green box. Okay, by that green box, the product of the month club, this is really important. Last thing you're gonna have to write down is every month when you order 125 PV, which is like dollars, you get a free oil. So I want you to write these numbers down. I want you to write the product of the month is worth about 15. So you write down 15. And then you say, and you also get your shipping back, or you get 10%. If you start with one of the smaller kits, you get 10% back of your order, so you get 12.5. So you see here in the corner, I've written it in red. That's not on the kit. They have to write that down. So you say, okay, write that down. And then you're going to get your shipping points back, which is 8, around 8. Then if there's any other specials, like this month, for instance, you have your free On Guard and free peppermint, which is like $50 in retail stuff, or for $50 in wholesale. Is it 50 or 45? So anyway, you have them write down that. So okay, now write down 45 because doTERRA is going to give you another 2 free products. because you're doing this loyalty reward. And if you're doing Diamond Club, then you're going to say, and because this is a Diamond Club event, I'm going to give you another 25. So you have them total that up. Well, without the promo that doTERRA is doing, it's about 60 PV. So then I say, if it's, add that in, it's over 100. So over $100 in free stuff just for doing 1 month of the product. This is how the loyalty program works. It's so awesome. So you want to get that $100 in free stuff, or $60 in free stuff. Or if there's no Diamond Club event and you're just teaching this at your home, promote whatever doTERRA has going on. And if there's nothing, if there isn't an event, if there isn't a promo and it isn't Diamond Club, then come up with something else. Work with your upline, throw something else in there, so that way you get that total up over 50, because that's free stuff. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the class, when you walk through and you're talking to people and you're like, okay, we've got your kit. Okay, now what did you want to put on your order next month so you can get all that free stuff? That's it. Easy, done. They do it. People do it. People want free stuff, and it's smart. You are doing the best thing for them. Like, you don't tell them about loyalty rewards and you don't put them on that program. Look what they're missing out on. So anyway, okay. So then we'll say, okay, that's it. Now, does anybody need to go? Is anybody in a hurry? Because I can take care of you first. Then if no one's in a hurry, you take care of that person, and then you filter through and you make sure to have someone else there, those people that raise their hand that are on loyalty rewards. Now, what that does when those people raise their hand, and I kind of skipped over that, is it gives them social proof. Like, oh, yeah, okay, she's doing that. That's, I'm pretty close to her. I'm going to go talk to her. And that's great, because you don't have to sell anybody on anything. You give them their options. You point them out to someone that they trust, and it'll do it. It'll take care of itself. So that is the class in the box. And I don't really have any other tips that I can think of, but it is so important that you get them. Don't forget this yes questions at the end. Okay, how does loyalty reward work? Yes, 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 yes. They're saying yes. That's really important. Get them to write down these percentages. Then they're interactive. They're thinking, they're seeing, okay, the bigger I buy, the better I get. I don't really know what 15% means or 20% means. They don't have to know. They can just see, okay, this is better. And you can explain it to them later. Then make sure you have them write down in total. So right here, I'm going to flip back. Okay, I'm going to flip back here. Then I don't ever tell them what the total is. I say, okay, somebody add that up for me. What is that? What is that total? Who's a math person in the room? And they'll tell you, and then you say, okay, everybody write that down and circle it. That's what you get free. So important that they write it down. Make them total it up, because you're throwing out numbers, and it might change every month. So then you don't have to worry about being off on your math. Okay, that's it. I hope you learned something. I hope you order the class in the box and start teaching it. It's so easy, and if you don't feel like you can talk about all those sections, there's a video. You pass oils around, you talk. Just at the end, if you write this stuff down, you tell a story about long life vitality and what it's done for you, I promise you're going to have a good event. One more thing for those people who are getting started, it comes with 10 wild oranges, and those are suggested to give away at the classes. In order to cut back on some of your cost, you're basically paying $22.50 per person. You can work that out with your host. Usually I will have the host purchase that box, and then they can give everyone a gift. Now, if you're just starting out in the business and you're having lots of classes, you can break down those wild oranges. There's no reason why you can't get those 5/8 grams, what come in the to-go keychain, and fill that up with wild orange and get 3 out of 1, because that's still a good amount of oil. It's still a great gift, and people are very excited. So anyway, all right, you guys are awesome, and that's it. I'm still on the screen. I don't know how to get myself off. How do I stop recording?